Emma never believed in picture-perfect love stories. Not because she was bitter, just cautious. She'd lost her mother before she turned 10, and her grandmother, her rock, just 2 years ago. Grief left cracks no one could see, and most people never looked hard enough to notice them anyway. Jake was different. They met at a poetry night in a bookstore, both pretending not to be romantics, both terrible at pretending. He made her laugh. She offered to buy him a coffee afterward, and then she panicked and left before he could say yes. He showed up the next week with a copy of the same poetry book and a post-it on the first page, in case you're still interested in that coffee. 4 years later, they were still together, still reading aloud sometimes, still laughing, now in love, though Emma never quite said it first. Jake was the kind of man who remembered her favorite tea and bought it when she ran out, the kind who brought her flowers when he knew she was down, listened when doubt ruled her. And she loved him for it, quietly, cautiously, like she was afraid the universe might take him away, just to prove a point. The night he took her to the new Italian restaurant downtown, she knew something was different. He looked nervous, kept checking his jacket pocket. The lights were low. The music was soft. The table was tucked in the back, half hidden behind a column and a candle. He reached for his jacket. She braced herself. Then he dropped to one knee. Her heart leapt, then dropped so hard it felt like it cracked. She wasn't ready. "Jake, please don't." He paused, confused. Then he smiled, soft and patient, like he understood something she hadn't said. Jake understood her, if anyone did. "I'm not proposing." Emma blinked, confused. He opened the small velvet box. Inside, nestled on dark silk, was her grandmother's bracelet. Delicate silver links, a tiny ruby clasp. Restored, polished, whole again. She covered her mouth. "You thought you lost it," he said. "I found it in that old bag you gave me to donate, and had it fixed." He stood and held it out. "I'm not asking you to marry me. Not yet. I just remembered what it meant to you. I figured I'd return it better than I found it." She stared at it, trembling. Then her eyes met Jake's, and she was overcome with love for this smiling man. "I'm not proposing," he said again, quieter this time. "I'm just promising, whatever's broken, I'll help you put it back together." She couldn't speak, just held out her wrist, let him fasten the clasp. Then she looked at him, blinking through tears. "Thank you. I'm staying, Em. That's all I wanted to say." Fixing didn't look like grand gestures. It looked like Sunday morning pancakes, even when she slept through them. It looked like shared grocery lists, sitting in silence when words felt heavy, folding laundry beside her while she talked through things she didn't yet understand. It was Jake holding her when the shadows in her mind tormented her. He started volunteering with her at the animal shelter on weekends, not because he loved dogs, though he pretended to, but because she did. He wanted to be with her. When she canceled plans last minute, he didn't guilt her. He just ordered her favorite takeout and queued up an old sitcom. When she cried for no reason, he didn't ask for one. He just rubbed her back until the tears subsided. He celebrated every tiny win. Every step forward was an achievement. She kept a doctor's appointment, sent an awkward apology text to an old friend she'd ghosted during her worst months, finished a painting she almost gave up on. He framed it, hung it on the wall, and called it her phoenix. He never asked her to be whole, just honest. And slowly, she began to be. The gallery was buzzing. Her first showcase, her name on the wall, her work lined along the exposed brick in soft light. People moved from piece to piece, wine glasses in hand, murmuring. Emma stood near one of her illustrations, trying to look composed. She spotted Jake across the room, grinning at someone, clearly proud. She smiled back. Then the lights dimmed. A hush fell. A single spotlight illuminated the final piece at the end of the gallery. She didn't recognize it. Curved lines, silver threads winding through it, a single ruby mark like a clasp, her bracelet. Abstract, bold, beautiful. Her heart thudded. Jake stepped into the light, holding a mic. "The last time I got down on one knee, I was just returning something she thought was broken." A few chuckles from the crowd. Emma couldn't move. "She thought I was proposing." "I wasn't." I was just promising I'd stay. His voice shook slightly, but not from fear. Since then, she's fixed more than I ever could. She's rebuilt herself, and in the process, she built us. I figured after all that, she deserved an audience. He dropped to one knee, this time with a ring. Emma, will you marry me? She laughed, bright and stunned and beautiful. Yes, she said, walking straight into his arms. I will. The room erupted, applause, laughter, a few people wiping their eyes. But Emma only saw him. Later that night, she placed the bracelet on the nightstand. The ring sat beside it, new and bright. Not everything broken remains that way, Emma murmured. Jake slipped his arms around her from behind. No, he murmured. Sometimes it becomes the strongest thing you've got. She turned toward him, and this time she said it first. I love you.
Original heartwarming fiction every week. Subscribe for your next great story.